Tayte Pollmann. I'm a trail runner, and I just finished my first 24-hour endurance event in Leadville, Colorado. It was a 24-hour skate ski race, and these are my top 3 tips for anyone competing in a 24-hour endurance event. So my first tip is varied nutrition. This is something that I've always been told was important, but learning it for the first time, I just learned how important it really is. And I'd initially planned to eat 24 waffles within 24 hours, because these waffles are like my favorite thing, and I thought they'd go down easy. But after I think 2 or 3, it just became really difficult. Temperature got hotter, I started wanting more liquid calories, and so I think just the biggest thing is to have just a variety of foods, flavors, textures, hot food, cold food. Just keep it varied, because you never know what you're going to want out there, but if you have it with you, then you're just more prepared for anything that may come. Tip number 2 is to anticipate temperature changes, and that's because when you go through a 24-hour endurance event, you will experience sunrise, sunset, right? And the temperature changes can be pretty extreme in different parts of the country, especially like where my race was in Leadville. The temperature was in the 40 degrees in the daytime, and during the night it was definitely in the teens with a very cold wind chill. So just being prepared for both the hot and cold, and knowing the environment that your race is in is really important. And so as far as the heat goes, I think one of the biggest things is being able to hydrate throughout the race. And you'll notice too that your appetite might change if it gets hot. Like you might crave more liquid calories, and your stomach might not be able to handle as much solid foods if it gets hot. And then as far as changing gear, I think that's really important with the heat as well, just because you might get things sweaty like shoes or different clothes, and just making sure you take those off so that if it does get colder, you're not in wet clothes going into the night, which was part of my problem. I never changed ski boots during my race, and I ended up getting frostbite after the race, and I think a big part of it was because I didn't change my ski boots and they got really sweaty during the day. So lesson learned there for sure. And then as far as the cold goes as well, making sure you have layers and know how to layer properly is really important. Sweat wicking materials are great. And those would be my tips there. So my third tip, and the most important, is to find the right crew. And that's just your friends and family and people who can be there to support you. I think it's the most important thing, because these people, they will just give you superpowers, honestly. It's just the greatest thing to have people there who can just make decisions for you when you're not in the right state of mind, maybe you don't know what to drink or eat, and they can just kind of guide you on that front, and also just be there for you through the highs and lows. And I just had so many great people on my crew. We even made this thing called a charcuterie ski, which was this big charcuterie board with all kinds of meats and cheeses and pastries on it. That was just the sweetest thing. And then I just had people there with me the entire time through the night. And one of the other highlights was in the morning. I had kind of a victory lap with many of my friends who ran alongside me as I did the last loop. And it was just one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in any race. So.